Beautiful day for soccer at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Happy to have you with us this Sunday afternoon on MLSNextPro.com as New England Revolution 2 hosts Inter Miami CF2 on match day 10. Joe Malva with you for the action, and these two teams are in very different ways right now. New England, in their last 5 matches, they have 3 regulation wins, a shootout victory, and a regulation loss. It's the inverse for Inter Miami. They have a shootout loss and 3 regulation losses to go with 1 regulation win. And you see the difference right now between these two teams in the standings, a gulf of 10 points in between them, with New England up in 3rd and Inter Miami down in 9th. For Inter Miami, it's about getting back on the score sheet. Their last 2 matches, they've struggled in that department. 1-0 loss at home against Orlando just a few days ago here in this double match week. And then last weekend, a 1-0 loss for Inter Miami on the road against New York Red Bulls 2. On the other side, for New England, they're coming in off of a 2-0 victory over Columbus. They were happy to finally get that clean sheet. It's not something they've had since last season. Have not had a clean sheet victory since last season, despite their successes, despite where they are in the standings. That's one area where they have struggled, is defensively, even in their wins. 4-3 last week against Philadelphia, 3-2 prior to that against Toronto, a 4-2 loss against NYCFC, a 5-5 thriller against Cincinnati that New England won in a shootout. So they're getting results, but they weren't getting the defensive success or clean sheets until that last game against Columbus 2-0 the last time out. So hoping to build upon that today defensively as they welcome in an Inter Miami team that has struggled mightily offensively. Look at the starting 11 now, beginning with New England. Jacob Jackson gets just his 2nd start of the season in goal after 14 starts last year. See if he can get some sort of rhythm now in between the sticks. The midfield, Jake Rosansky, as ever, is anchoring it with Joshua Bolma to his left. 2 University of Maryland products that have buoyed this midfield of the Revs. And Weverton gets just his 2nd start of the season up top. His 10th appearance overall, just his 2nd start, yet to get on the score sheet. For a team that has scored as many goals as New England, a lot of that goal scoring missing from the starting 11. Other side for Inter Miami, they're missing a few key players as well. 2 of them at the U20 World Cup, 2 of them who have since graduated to a more full-time role with the first team. Noah Allen started last game for Inter Miami CF2 against Orlando, was subbed off at the 45-minute mark, and he played last night with the first team in Montreal. So going really young today. Montenegro, Perkovic, Destin, the teenagers leading the attacking line. John Matto in red is your referee. New England in the blue from left to right. Inter Miami in the pink from right to left. And we are underway on this Sunday in match day 10 from Gillette Stadium. Happy to have you along this afternoon on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Joe Malfa with you for the action. Colby Quinones, that left back for New England, one of a few faces in the starting 11 that has been with this team for quite some time, going back to their inception in USL League One, carrying over to MLS Next Pro. Had a chance to chat with head coach Clint Pie this week about just that, and that this team, while very young, as are so many of the teams around the league, there's experience within that youth. Quinones, one of the prime examples, just 20 years of age at left back, but this is his 59th appearance in just a couple of years with this club. It's been a breeding ground for that young talent. You see yesterday with the first team, Noel Buck scored a laser beam in their matchup, and he has been a fixture in their midfield, the young teenager. Starting to see that academy to Next Pro to MLS pipeline opening up a bit for the Revs as Bolma scoops it up in the midfield. Bolma with it, working end line, trying to turn the corner, and it is out for a goal kick. At the very end there, he had Brendan Bueno shrieking in the center of the box, but not much. That could have been done there by Joshua Boma. Number 4 overall pick in the 2023 draft out of Maryland. CJ Dos Santos turning into trainer for a moment. Modesto Mendez, something in his eye. Inter Miami likes building out of the back, out of this 4-2-3-1. That's been a staple for them most of the year. They have changed at times to a 3-back or to a different setup within the 4-4-2 with a diamond midfield based on the first team. But yesterday against Montreal, the first team ran out of this 4-2-3-1. And now today, the second team will as well. Quinones. Akinirich. Jacob Akinirich. Now in for Jake Rosansky. Clint P.A. talked at length this week about the importance of Rosansky in the midfield. While there are so many young players who are more experienced beyond their years in this club, Jake Rosansky is on the brink of turning 27 as this one's played over the top here and over the head of Meek. Rosansky brings that leadership, that vocal leadership that's necessary to the middle of this team. A bad effort on the ball over the top to Meek. Worked inside of Akinirich. New England coming into this game, 26 goals scored to just 14 for Inter Miami. Teams have allowed just about the same number, 22 for New England, 21 for Inter Miami. New England has just relied on outscoring teams in shootouts. And I mean shootouts within 90 minutes, not the bonus point shootout that you could have at the end of this. In regulation, there have been some barn burners for New England, and they've just relied on that goal scoring output. But again, today in the starting 11, missing the bulk of those leading scorers. Nobody in the starting 11 today for New England has multiple goals on the season. And they're one of only a couple of teams around the league to have multiple guys with 5 goals. They have 3 guys on 5 goals, 1 on 4. So they have that potent talent that has been making the difference all year long. Tico Rivera, Marcos Diaz, Esmir Bayraktarevic, Jordan Adebayo-Smith. One of the guys that have scored the lion's share of the goals, but none in the starting 11 today. Now Marcos Diaz is on the bench today. Could be inserted later on. Same goes for Jordan Adebayo-Smith. So 2 of the 4 available. Rosansky. Quinones. Nice turn by Bueno. Kept his footing just barely on the turf. Rosansky comes through. Greenidge Duncan. Successful 2022 in Toronto for Greenidge Duncan. This is his first start of 2023 with his new club. Just 4 appearances for 41 minutes coming into the day. 6 starts, 14 appearances, 3 goals last year with Toronto. These 2 teams go all the way back to USL League One together. And it's been a pretty one-sided affair in New England's favor all time. 4 wins over Inter Miami 2. Just 2 victories for Inter Miami, but both of those came in Next Pro last year. So since these teams have made the leap, it's been more tilted toward Inter Miami, and now a free kick on the way for New England. 3-game regulation winning streak for the Revs. Had to battle back last week against Philadelphia, winning it in stoppage time. 4-3 thriller. Free kick sent in, back post, and it's in! The center back, Pierre Caille, unmarked, heads it across frame, far post, and he has his second of the season. An unlikely source, but it almost had to be given this starting 11 today. As I mentioned before, for all the goals they've scored this year, among the league leaders, all their big guns not in the starting 11. Missing 19 of their 26 goals from the starting 11 today. Nobody with more than one goal on the season. Well, now Caille has 2. Puts the pressure on Inter Miami early on. A young group out there today for Inter Miami, younger than usual, I should say. Brian Destin, 17, Miles Perkovic, 16. Ricardo Montenegro getting his just 3rd appearance as an 18-year-old. Ezequiel Abadiareda, 17. With so many players called up from the second team to the first team, given the first team's injuries, this team has had to dip further down, call upon some more academy kids. Results have suffered for it. Long run progress will probably benefit for it. And New England's a prime example of that. From League One up through MLS Next Pro. They've gone young. They've allowed these guys to come into their own, getting as many minutes as possible. And it's starting to bear fruit this year. Sitting in 3rd place, chatting with Clint P.A. The last couple of years, the results weren't necessarily there for this team, falling short of postseason berths in League One, and last year not having quite the success they've had so far this year. And now all those players who were getting those minutes at 16, 17, 18 are now 20 and 21, and they've been there, done that. Games that they would have lost a couple of years ago, they're winning now. They're learning how to win in their developmental process. It's starting to show. 10 minutes in, up 1-0. Already riding a 3-game winning streak. And a good start here in their bid for a 4th straight. And a win today, pending results elsewhere from Columbus, would bring New England within 1 point of first place Crown Legacy. Sesak all the way back for Dos Santos. Other matches going on right now around the league. St. Louis up 1-0 on North Texas. Minnesota, Colorado, Houston, Austin, Chicago, Crown Legacy, and Atlanta, Toronto, all scoreless. As we wrap up match day 10 today. Pardon me, not quite yet. Have 1 game tomorrow on Memorial Day. Orlando will be taking on New York Red Bull. Farid Sarsar out wide to Lucas Meek. 8th start of the season for Meek, has 3 goals. Very busy in the attack from his wing position. Caille, the goal scorer, sends it out to midfield. Rosansky to Bolma. Quinones has the liberty to step up from the back line, join the midfield. Quinones, when they're in possession. Defensively, it looks like a 4-3-3. Offensively, it morphs a bit. Some action today for Modesto Mendez as he plays it wide for Abadia Herrera. Mendez earns his 4th start of 2023 after 14 appearances last year. He's seen more time with the first team in training on the bench for the first team. Sarsar looking over the top. Sunderland into Perkovic, looking for Destin. Just bounced through, waiting, begging for somebody to step to it. Nobody in a pink jersey did. Back-to-back 1-0 losses for this Inter Miami 2 side. Down 1-0 here, and that's also been a theme with the first team. They have 5 1-0 losses this season. Struggling to score goals, first team or second team, but staying in every game. Sarsar. Sunderland. 7th start of the year for Lawson Sunderland. 21-year-old from Illinois. Has 1 goal to his name. Spell of possession here for the visitors. And with that, it comes to an end. Quarter of an hour gone here at Gillette Stadium. Early goal from Pierre Caille off the set piece. The center back headed it home for his 2nd of the season. It was Jake Rosansky on the assist from the free kick. 3rd assist of the season for Rosansky. And that has been his trademark with this Revs 2 side. Going back to his days in USL League 1 and the last 2 seasons in Next Pro, has 13 assists in 59 appearances. Nakanirich for Caille. Bolma, 2-time first team All Big Ten. And a free kick from nearly the same spot that they scored from now for New England. Yellow card as well. Issued to Modesto Mendez. Got his arm up into the face of Peyton Miller.
Your attention, please. The referee has issued a yellow card.
New England would like to duplicate what they did just 8 minutes ago. From nearly the same spot, great ball to the back post. Pierre Caille evaded his marker. And a good strong header to the far post and in for the opener.
Yeah, let me know. Um, 5, 10, 15 seconds.
It's Rosansky standing over it again. Delivered the assist on the free kick in the 8th minute. Rosansky near post, headed away. Quinones the first to it. Blocked on his efforts to send it right back into the area. Kaye. Miller. All the way back for Jacob Jackson, who's had nothing to do thus far. Glorified spectator through 18 minutes. Caputo, Sarsar, and Abadia Reda. Meek couldn't save it. Despite the protests, possession given away. There was one earlier kickoff today in Next Pro. At the hour mark, San Jose, Portland, 1-1. Bulma. Here's Miller, the 15-year-old who this season, when he debuted, became the youngest in Revs 2 history. Intercepted by Sunderland. Feeds it ahead to Destin. Brian Destin. Easy gather for Jacob Jackson. Hasn't been much to speak of offensively for New England aside from the set piece. It's still their only shot of the match. Only one touch in Inter Miami's 18-yard box, and it was the goal. Abadia Reda takes it off the chest. Sarsar, long diagonal into the path of Perkovic, giving chase. Commits the foul as he muscles Pierre Kaye to the ground. Brought down by Miller. Greenidge Duncan. Chested back to Dos Santos. Point of emphasis for New England to work on things defensively. Climpier joked, it's fun for the players, it's fun for the fans to have those high-scoring affairs and pick up results all the while, as they have been. It drives you mad as a coach, especially for a coach who was a defender in his day. Much rather win it 1-0 than 4-3 from a coach's perspective. Emphasis on that defensive portion of it. Last game led to their first clean sheet of the season, the 2-0 victory over the reigning champions Columbus. Now with their only goal today, the focus will be on the defensive side again. Can they just maintain it? Chance at a set piece here for Miami. Not close enough to threaten goal directly. Toward the penalty spot. They had a gathering of 4 pink jerseys, but sent away by Quinones. Akinirich overran it. Meek, Sunderland. Nelson Sunderland back for Abel Caputo, the captain. Sesak will try the right side. Perkovic, his ball deflected and out for a corner. First corner kick of the match for either side. Abadiareda, the in-swinger, headed away by Palma. Bueno wants to run ahead. Draws the foul. Caputo jogging by the referee. Oh, we might see yellow there. Foul in transition. Caputo gets away with it. Just a warning from the referee. Jackson out of the back. Bulma looking long. Miller will get there. Plays the early ball. And chested back for Dos Santos. Weverton. Oh, that ball over the top. It was played as if the near post run was coming. Kaye brought down. Rosansky under some pressure from Perkovic. Another Kaye, excuse me, and Perkovic commits the foul. And picks up the yellow. Miles Perkovic, 16-year-old, just his 3rd start of the season, 6th appearance overall, has a goal to his name.
Your attention, please. The referee has issued a yellow card to Miami's number 57, Miles Perkovic, in the 27th minute.
Pressure from Destin forces Souza to get rid of it quickly. Seen more of that pressure over the last 10 minutes from Inter Miami. It's made life difficult playing out of the back for New England. Here again, struggling to get it across midfield, but now Quinones has a pocket of space. Quinones, Greenidge Duncan. Back for Quinones, telegraphed it just a bit. Greenidge Duncan to the loose ball. Here's Miller, aiming far post, blocked by Abadiareda. Souza. Miller has some space. Rather Bueno looking wide for Greenidge Duncan. Here's Meek carrying ahead. Sunderland haven't threatened in the 18. Inter Miami doing a good job of getting to the final third, but once they've gotten there is where it's broken down. And that's what it looked like against Orlando just a few days ago. Looking on the backside for Miller. Almost fell for him. Half an hour into this one, still just 2 combined shots, both belonging to New England. One on target was the goal scored 8 minutes in by Pierre Caillet. Match day 10, Sunday afternoon action at Gillette Stadium here on MLSNextPro.com. Joe Malfa with you for it. New England Revolution 2, Inter Miami CF 2. Third place, New England. 9th place, Inter Miami. New England looking for a 4th consecutive regulation victory. Pending other results around the league, they could be within 1 point of first place in the Eastern Conference if they hold on to win this today. Bulma intercepts it. Here's Meek. Lucas Meek cuts in field, far post, off the post. First real chance of the day. Can they keep up the pressure? Montenegro's shot blocked. And a foul ends the threat for Inter Miami. Lucas Meek cut in, what a hit. And that's how we'll go into the hydration break here. Did well curling it, wrapping the right foot around it. Not enough in the end. Positive note into this hydration break. Their first shot of the match. Ricochets off the post. Hoping to avoid extending this losing skid. 1-0 last time out against Orlando. 1-0 previous to that against New York. A shootout loss prior to that against Philadelphia. Have to go back to the first match of May. 3-2 win over Atlanta. The last time Inter Miami won. And even to end the month of April, they lost 3 out of 4 in regulation. last 8 games, 5 regulation losses for Inter Miami. 2 regulation wins and a shootout loss. It's been a very difficult stretch in terms of the results. But the multifaceted way of looking at things in this league, part of the reason for the dip in form as far as the results go is they haven't had their players they began the season with. How do you measure success here? Well, if you're looking at it through the lens of supplying first-team talent, you're doing a terrific job of that. Benjamin Kramaski, David Ruiz, Edison Azcona, Israel Boatwright, Noah Allen, Ian Frey, all players who had been with the second team at some point, who are now either with the first team or at the U20 World Cup. Good luck to any team around the league to lose that many players and still try to keep the results the same way they were. Only so much you can handle before you have to hit the reset button of sorts. Start bringing along younger players, and in time with experience, the results have an uptick again. It's the opposite for New England. It's been a consistent bunch, an older bunch by the standards of this league. Those who are beyond their 20th birthday instead of on the short side of it. Team that's been building over the last few years. Last year in Next Pro, prior to that in USL League One. Finally starting to put it all together. Reason they're in second place. Mendez on a yellow card, as is Miles Perkovic, who he played it along for. Perkovic tries his luck right into the hands of Jacob Jackson. He struck it well from a long way out. First shot on target of the match forces the keeper into a save. Souza, Kaye, Quinones opens up, surveys the landscape, and picks out Greenwich Duncan. Some score updates elsewhere, still 1-1 with a dozen minutes remaining between San Jose and Portland. All these other matches I'm about to mention kicked off at the same time. More on that in a moment. Bueno played over the top, but the flag comes up on Brandon Bueno. So the rest of the matches all kicked off at the same 6 p.m. window, Eastern time. St. Louis up 2-0 at home on North Texas. Colorado up 2-0 on the road over Minnesota. Houston up 1-0 at home against Austin. Atlanta up 1-0 at home on Toronto. And Chicago and Crown Legacy are scoreless in Chicago. Slip through down the left wing for Bulma, end line, squaring it back for Weverton. Not enough on it to get it beyond CJ Dos Santos. Ahead to Montenegro. Ricardo Montenegro in just his third appearance, second start. He debuted 6 days ago, 90 minutes against New York Red Bulls. It's out to Sunderland. Lawson Sunderland deflected and out for a corner kick. Sunderland was hoping to do what Meek just did moments ago. Curl it toward that far post. Corner. Sent over the top and into the hands now of Jackson. Meek. Akinirich turns past Meek. Akinirich continues his run. Ran out of steam and real estate. But he earns a corner. First corner of the match now for New England. John Mato settling things down in front of CJ Dos Santos. Corner whipped in near post. Still loose for Weverton. Back, chipped ahead, and through for a goal kick. Brendan Bueno. Not a bad ball to the back post, but nobody was crashing. Bolma. Greenidge Duncan. And back for Souza. All of a sudden, Inter Miami is leading in the shots 5-2. It took until that one that clanked off the post 10 minutes ago to get their first shot of the afternoon. Now they have 5 in the last 10 minutes. Can they make one count here before the halftime interval? Deflected through for Meek. Shout for a penalty as he was brought down. Not much there. Did get a piece of it with his foot, but not enough to poke it past Jacob Jackson. Rosansky, Quinones. Kaye looking long, sending Peyton Miller on the run. Miller gets it past Sesak, brought down, ball stays in. Miller to Weverton, saved by Dos Santos. Everything felt like it was happening in slow motion there. As Miller and Sesak got tangled up, both spilled to the ground. Ball stayed in for Miller. Everton still looking for his first goal. Back the other way. Meek is there. Off his chest, off the post. Thought he would get there to tap it home. Almost looked like he was waiting to see if it would just go in on its own, and then it hit the post. Now the other way, a foul on Mendez, and New England's bench was a second yellow for him. Here's where it all started in that crazy sequence. Everton a chance, saved by Dos Santos. And at the other end, hit off the post for Inter Miami. And Mendez commits the foul, gets away without a yellow here. Already has one. He's in danger of being sent to an early shower. Through to Weverton off the free kick, take it quickly. Weverton off the crossbar. Struck it well off the volley. Couldn't keep it down under the bar. It remains 1-0. A rather lifeless first half all around from both teams has suddenly sprung to life in the last 5 minutes. Here's Weverton. Bulma through for Bueno. Told there will be 4 added minutes here in the first half. There's still ample opportunity for both of these teams to impact change in the scoreline. Here's Meek. Has put 2 off the post today. Wins a corner here.
The 4th official on the sideline has indicated that there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time in the first half.
Here is those last opportunities from Inter Miami. This is their second time they hit the post today. Short off the corner. Abadi Herrera into stoppage time. Now 4 minutes were given. Greenwich Duncan blocks that rifle from Nick Sesak. Seen 2 posts for Inter Miami. A crossbar for New England. All in the last dozen minutes of this first half. Nice bit of interplay between Sunderland and Meek. Perkovic back for Montenegro. Heavy touch, lost it. And just swarmed by Miller and Bulma. It's scooped over the top to Joshua Bulma. Two more minutes of stoppage time here in this first half. Brian Destin dropping very deep to receive here. He's been operating as a striker today, but the ball hasn't found him. Coming deeper, trying to create something for himself, but it's won back by New England. Quinones sprays it out wide, finds Miller. Bueno running on the right side. Miller continues. Chance here for Weverton. hoping to pass it to a corner, but passed it instead to Dos Santos. Starting to find more and more seams in this Inter Miami defensive shape. Five shots, 3 on target now for New England. 6 shots, 1 on target for Inter Miami. They've hit the post twice. Both times it was Lucas Meek who's on the ball again. Meek on his left foot, tries to serve it centrally. It sits for a moment for Montenegro, but it's blocked by Rozanski. Meek, underlap from up at the arena, cut centrally, has 1 goal this season from his left back position, but he's cut off by Akinirich. Rozanski is fouled, and that should bring us to halftime. There it is, final whistle in this first half. The lone goal was scored all the way back in the 8th minute on the first shot of the match, a header by Pierre Caille off a free kick, and that is still the difference. A couple of posts hit by Inter Miami, a crossbar hit by New England, and at the end of it all, still just 1-0 to the home side. We'll have highlights and stats from our first half coming up, but first, there is no more undefeated team in the East, while the West still has 1 unbeaten side remaining, while both winless teams finally tasted the victory of 3 points in a topsy-turvy Match Day 9. Michelle and Samara look back in this week's edition of Match Day Rewind.
MLS Next Pro's Matchday 9 is up there with arguably one of the best in the Young League's history. Alongside Samara, I'm Michelle, recapping a truly historic weekend in MLS Next Pro. And there's nowhere else we can start than with the heroics in Huntsville. HCFC earned their first club win in history in their long-awaited home opener. Crown Legacy took a 1-0 lead just 4 minutes into the match. But after a late first half equalizer from Jonathan Bolaños, Huntsville City completed the comeback victory off the foot of Asad Liadi and the heartbeat of Huntsville. Following the match, Coach Jack Collison explained just what a difference the home atmosphere made.
To walk out, see the colours, hear the noise, and I think it really drove the boys on. You look towards the end of the game where it's getting tight. Previous games on the road, we've struggled sometimes towards the end of the game, but you could see the energy, the fight, the desire, and it was all that with the crowd involved that got us over the line in the end.
The upset ended Crown Legacy's 7-game win streak, handing them their first loss of the season.
There was also another first added to the books, and while not as historic for soccer reasons, a first is a first nonetheless, and MLS Next Pro had its very first goose interference. A pair of local geese wanted to get in on the action and play a part in helping the hometown side pull off a win. And it seems like they brought good luck to Whitecaps FC too, as the team slowed the roll of Defiance's 4-game unbeaten run, thanks to a second half screamer from Cameron Habibullah.
And while the Geese came in multiples in Vancouver, the goals did the same for the class of 2022 standouts in Philly. Chris Donovan posted a brace for Union 2 to help his team lead 3-1 until the 75th minute. That's when Esmir Bayraktarovic got even with his second of the night. Then, with things tied at 3, he completed the comeback for Revs 2 with a third goal of his own. The hat-trick goal coming in stoppage time to give Revs 2 a dramatic and thrilling 3 points on the road.
We also saw a different kind of heroics from North Texas SC's Diego Hernandez. Diego recently shared his journey back to the field after being involved in a terrible car accident.
In terms of physical, my body was sore, yes, and I had the usual bruises and scratches, but I didn't break a single bone. you know. In fact, I walked in 2 weeks, you know, and I'm so fortunate for that. But one of the things that did leave a mark on me was that mental side of it, you know, that many players face whenever they face adversity.
His road to recovery is firmly in the past as he notched his first ever professional goal on Sunday. It was a beautiful moment seeing Diego's teammates joining him in celebration. Matchday 9 was such a special weekend in MLS Next Pro. We'll have more notable moments after Matchday 10. See you again soon.
And that was the overview through last weekend, but let's focus now on the best that last match day 9 had to offer as Michelle helped shine the spotlight.
After a historic week in MLS Next Pro, the guys made it pretty hard to choose just one selection per honor. I'm Michelle Montaigne, highlighting the guys who did make it into the spotlight following one of the most exciting match days yet. A very deserving Diego Hernandez of North Texas SC gets us started as the rising star of Matchday 9. The 18-year-old midfielder scored his first goal of the season, but what makes the feat so much more than just a goal is the fact that it followed an improbable comeback to the field after Hernandez was involved in a life-altering car accident. On the heels of remarkable perseverance, Hernandez is back on the pitch with his first goal and first Spotlight Award of hopefully many more to come for the Academy product. And as hard as the Spotlight selections were this week, the MLS Next Pro player of Matchday 9 was probably the easiest. It belongs to none other than Revolution 2's Esmir Bayraktarovic following his hat-trick fueling comeback performance. Bayraktarovic's third goal in the match came in the first minute of stoppage time, giving New England Revolution 2 the 4-3 victory. Having scored in all 3 MLS Next Pro matches he's played in this year, his hat trick brings his goal total to 5 on the season, placing him in a tie for third in the Golden Boot standings. Now, he almost walked away with the best goal of Matchday 9 as well, but in one of the most narrow decisions yet, it was Whitecaps FC 2 Cameron Habibullah who earned best goal of Matchday 9. The midfielder in transition gets the ball well beyond the 18-yard box, then sails it to the upper right corner past a diving Andrew Thomas for Tacoma. Habibullah earned the only goal of the match to give Whitecaps FC 2 the win and to move them ahead of opponent Tacoma Defiance in the power rankings. And the team of Matchday 9, well, that belongs to the story of the weekend, Huntsville City FC. The club experienced so many firsts this weekend. First home game in their newly redone stadium. First sellout of the season. Most importantly, probably, their first win of the season, handing Crown Legacy FC their first loss. And honestly, having been in Huntsville for the game, their fans probably deserve part of this spotlight recognition this week for the atmosphere they created that energized HCFC's 2-1 comeback victory. Big congrats to all of this week's Spotlight honorees. I know next week's probably going to be even harder with the full slate we have for Matchday 10. Enjoy all the extra matches you get.
Yeah, what a slate it has already been for Matchday 10, but Orlando hosts Red Bulls tomorrow to close out the busiest week to date on the schedule. We've already seen 12 matches Wednesday through Friday, 9 more today tonight, and here's a sampling of the exciting action already in the books for this week.
Nice pass. And it's going to be Alex Picasso on the cross. His shot. Oh, great save. No, goal! Here's the corner, and how about the equalizer by the Loons? Take another look. There's the corner, and Daniel Eway trying to find the good angle cross. Now Pacheco here. Nice pass. Let them in the cross. Shot, block, goal! Good pass by Dunbar on the far side. Long shot, header, goal! shot. Goal!
This is Hernandez, the 18-year-old out of the FC Dallas Academy. Sends it over atop a free runner, and it's a goal! Really felt like, despite not quite getting the results they loved lately, oh, how about that goal? Same at home and on the road, 2-2-1, both here and on the road. Here's a big opportunity, and it's cashed in. Top team in the Western Conference trying to get to 24 points. Malone, stopped by Eyestone. And that breathes some life into North Texas. Beautiful stop with the Aguirre finishes and gives Colorado the second point.
Portland Timbers, too, with a big-time win against the Whitecaps, so perhaps something headed in the right direction their way as well. Heckworth there will confirm that, though. Armstrong. Good possession. And in! Klein Chesson. Matachi, Kuzain. Matachi, back Kuzain. Left foot, center, another goal! Off the head of Klein. Another head, McCartney. Kicked away. McDowd curls it right into the chest of Oliveris. And that does it. St. Louis City 2. As we look at the starting lineups, Jacob Castro between the pipes for the Tacoma Defiance. The first ever LAFC 2 team, this one of the 7. Sousa, Rock, center, Gomez, yes! Off the deflection! For San Diego State Aztec eyeing a clean sheet. But a turnover, Torres ties it up! Between the pipes, his first appearance of the year off injury. Mano a mano. That one in favor of Rosales. Season debut, IUB, blocked away. Tacoma, the victory. Jacob Castro, back from injury.
Got all that? Been a busy week so far here in match day 10, and it all started on Wednesday with some shootout action between Crown Legacy and Philadelphia. You take your pick as far as what stands out through that massive games that we've already seen. The one for me is the one that applies to this match here. It was New England in that 2-0 victory over the reigning champions Columbus, moving closer and closer to the top of the table, earning their first clean sheet of the year. Talked about it in the first half of this game. If they continue to figure it out defensively, given what they've done offensively, gotta watch out for this New England team making quite the run here in the Eastern Conference. We'll take a look at highlights from half number 1. Started early on with some opportunities for Inter Miami in terms of the possession they had, but a foul conceded carelessly outside the box, and they were made to pay for it. Great delivery in from Jake Rosansky. Strong header back where it came from Pierre Caille. His second of the season came in the 8th minute, gave them the 1-0 lead. And that's how it would end in the first half, 1-0. But we had ample opportunity to change that scoreline as the half wore on. Inter Miami did not register its first shot of the match, whether on target or off target, until the 31st minute. But once they did, the opportunities started to come thick and fast. New England was in control of much of the possession, but here's where that shot came for Inter Miami. Clanked off the far post. Wouldn't be the only time they hit the post in that half. From distance there, Perkovic right to Jackson. Here's another opportunity falling for Meek as he was falling down. New England, as the game opened up, started to find some more of their own opportunities. Weverton here had it denied by Dos Santos. We'll hear more from Weverton in just a moment. Over the top to Meek here. It's just bouncing toward that far post. Thought he could get a touch on it and direct it in, but he let it go, hoping it would go in on its own. Hit off that post. And now Meek again leading the charge. Delivers in front. Montenegro had his shot blocked. There was a crossbar hit in there as well for New England by Weverton in the dying moments of half number one. We'll take a look at the stats from that first half. Possession just about down the middle. 8 shots to 5 in Inter Miami's favor. 3 on target to 1 in New England's favor. And Miami hit the woodwork twice. New England hit it once as the teams are set to take the field for half number 2. Here on match day 10. 1-0 lead for New England Revolution. Players have made their way back out on the field here at Gillette Stadium for half number 2. It's Inter Miami in the pink from left to right. New England Revolution from right to left in the blue. 2 subs to get you at the half on the Inter Miami side. They take off Brian Destin atop the formation for Lorenzo D'Agostini. And they replace Modesto Mendez with that yellow card on the back line with Tyler Hall. No changes to report on the New England side so far. Just the 2 for Inter Miami as they trail by 1 heading into the second half on the road, hoping to avoid another 1-0 defeat. That's how they've fallen in the last 2 games, and we're underway now in half number 2. New England looking for a 4th consecutive regulation victory. Happy to have you with us this Sunday evening on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Joe Malfa.
Number 67, Brian Destin, and number 44, Modesto Mendez in the 46th minute.
See if this second half in the early stages takes on the identity that the end of the first half did. Everything post-hydration break was drastically different than everything pre-hydration break in the 30th minute. Foul goes against Joshua Bolma. Inter Miami had 8 shots, 1 on target in that first half. 7 of the shots came after the hydration break. New England had 5 shots, 4 of those after the hydration break. All that in a 15-minute span, call it 19 minutes after you factor in stoppage time. This game opened up drastically, took on more of the identity we're used to seeing of New England games prior to their 2-0 win over Columbus. Remember, they had that stretch of games where the goals were flying in left and right. 4-3 win over Philadelphia, 3-2 win over Toronto, 4-2 loss against NYCFC, and then a 5-5 draw that turned into a 5-4 win on penalties for New England. Quinones. Kaye, the goal scorer. Back for Jackson, who sends it long. 24th overall pick in last year's draft, Jacob Jackson in goal. Only his second start this season. Done a terrific job of developing goalkeepers here in New England. We've got the front runner for goalkeeper of the year and perhaps rookie of the year in MLS right now. They sent Matt Turner onto the U.S. men's national team and now Arsenal. Some scores to update since we had gone to the half. Still 2-0 Colorado on the road over Minnesota. Now it's 2-0 Houston at home over Austin. 1-0 Crown Legacy on the road over Chicago. And Atlanta has a 2-0 lead at home over Toronto. Played ahead to D'Agostini, looking to announce himself with gusto here. Just subbed on at half. Put it wrong side of the post. He is one of the brightest young players for this Inter Miami CF2 squad. The next in the line of players who have quickly matriculated up to the first team. He turns 18 in just a few days, D'Agostini. Highly touted academy product, now in his first Next Pro season. His 8th appearance tonight. And he has 2 goals on the young season. Very active day so far for Lucas Meek. He's on it again. Into Lawson Sunderland. Keeps it. Sunderland right to Jackson. Take a corner left or right. This might be a 1-1 game. Split the difference down the middle, and it remains 1-0. Did well to even keep his balance and keep possession. NYCFC kicked off 10 minutes ago at home against Cincinnati. They already lead 1-0. Philadelphia kicked off at home against Columbus at the same time. They are scoreless. St. Louis has now begun the second half as well. They're up 2-1 at home against North Texas. Amel Caputo getting another warning here from our referee. John Matto had a warning in the first half. Looked like Clint P.A. was initially wanting a word with the referee, perhaps to point out just that. Caputo, the captain of Inter Miami, got a warning in the first half, gets a warning now. Surely the next time he's on the referee's radar, it'll be a yellow. Quinones. A lot of space here for Perkovic toward D'Agostini. Flicked out for a corner by Akinirich. Swerved in, back post. Meek was fighting through some contact. Just smothered in the end by Kaye. Here's Tyler Hall. Slips it through. Offside flag is up on Meek. Jackson pings one over the top. Flicked along by Weverton. Bolma barrels through with speed, recovers it again. Bolma looking for Miller and wins a corner. Terrific burst of speed that Bolma has in the midfield. It's what made him so special collegiately at Maryland. Two-time first-team All-Big Ten in his 2 years before he signed his Generation Adidas contract. Was drafted 4th overall by this New England team. Has the ability to play as a winger, as a number 10. Drop in deeper, more defensively in the midfield, so versatile. Drew comparisons to former college teammate Ben Bender, who was taken 1st overall 2 years ago. Now from the corner, it's all the way through again for Bolma. D'Agostini heads it along for Meek. Being chased by 3 Revs here. Working all alone, waiting for support. Finds it in the form of Perkovic. Caputo back to the right side for Sesak. Nick Sesak has some targets in the box. Looking for D'Agostini, crashing in. Didn't make great contact. Souza looked like he made more contact on it than D'Agostini in the end. Quiñones. D'Agostini taken down clumsily by Jake Rosansky. And that will elicit a yellow card. First of the match issued to New England. And New England is readying a trio of changes, it appears. Making a quartet of changes. They want to impact this game all at once, New England. 4 players who have shed the warm-up tops, put the jerseys on.
Yep. Your attention, please.
It's an interesting call from Clint PA. You get 5 subs. Instead of waiting to see how this game progresses, using 4 at once leaves him with just 1 more over the final 35 minutes plus stoppage time. That'll be all for Peyton Miller. And then Bueno off as well. Colby Quiñones making the long walk. And the last is Greenwich Duncan to come off. Marcos Diaz, the big name to come on here.
Your attention, please. Substitution for the Revolution in the 57th minute.
So
entering the game, number 89, Malcolm Croft.
over the top here, Weverton. He's taken down. What color will this card be? It's red. Last man defensively. Fareed Sarsar took down Weverton. And they are down to 10 men and down a goal. And not much doubt about that. He was home free, Weverton, if he wasn't taken down.
Number 40, Ben Washi, and number 39, Marcos Diaz. Exiting the game, number 76, Peyton Miller, number 33, Brandon
Rosansky, Diaz, Boma, all standing over it.
Your attention, please. The referee has issued a red card to Miami's number 58, Farid Sasar in the 58th minute.
Boma can strike a ball as good as anyone. Had a knack for scoring goals like this collegiately. Jake Rosansky, usually the supply man on assists. Rosansky will strike it and put it just wide. Got it up and over the wall. Had it at a height where it would have been under the crossbar, but just yanked it wider than near post. So Malcolm Fry, Marcos Diaz, Ben Awashi, and Italo are the 4 players who came on for New England. Greenidge, Duncan, Miller, Bueno, and Quinones all off. Off the left side for Lucas Meek, looking ahead for Abadiareda. Here is Abadiareda in front, D'Agostini, down a man, but not out of this one just quite yet. The counterattack sprung up the left side, and now a corner. I'm sure there's good reason for it for Clint PA, and part of it might be pre-planned with a congestion of fixtures in this stretch of play here for New England. And some guys who might be on the first team's radar. I wonder why exactly the subs were made the way they were. To use 4 at once in the 56th minute leaves you with just 1 remaining to impact the game as it evolves. Corner, arc toward the back post, there's nobody home, and it's out for a goal kick. You wonder if his mind might have changed in the subs he used. Had he known he would have been up a man, he went up that man just moments after making that quadruple sub. Upper left of your screen there you see making the walk down the tunnel for Farid Sasar. Was the last man, took down Weverton, who was bursting through. So now with a half an hour remaining, Inter Miami is down a goal and down a man here at Gillette Stadium on MLSNextPro.com. Joe Malfa with you for the action on this Sunday evening of Match Day 10, the busiest match week of the season thus far. New England could turn it into a pair of victories in this double match week. For Inter Miami, they'd be heading to a double loss in this double match week. 1-0 at home against Orlando in the midweek. Down 1-0 here. New England won 2-0 in the midweek at home against Columbus. Their first clean sheet victory of the season. Something they took pride in. And they back it up with another clean sheet victory. And if this is a harbinger of things to come for New England defensively, under the tutelage of a center back by trade in Clint PA, very defensive minded, they figured it out defensively. To go with what they've done offensively, the rest of the Eastern Conference and the rest of the league for that matter should be put on notice. They've been scoring goals for fun, 26 of them already this season. That is good enough for number 1 in the Eastern Conference, and would be 1 in the West too. Almost looking for that second one here. Leading MLS Next Pro in goals. They've leaked some at the back. It's why some results weren't as positive as they could have been. They know that. They've tried to fix it, and perhaps now they've had, if they can get 2 clean sheets in a row. Fry on the left foot, deflected. Corner on the way. If current results hold, New England would be in second place, 4 points back of Crown Legacy. New England would have an opportunity to remain ahead of Columbus Crew too, last year's reigning champions. Rosansky. Marcos Diaz flips it in. Awashi off the chest, was offside. Two subs remaining for Inter Miami, just one for New England. This would be a third consecutive 1-0 loss if this scoreline holds for Inter Miami. Coming through is Meek. And the pocket picked by Souza. Agostini wins it cleanly. Here's Sunderland going for goal, just wide. Down a man, down a goal. It might take a moment like that, a moment of individual brilliance to level this scoreline. Some of their best looks in this matchup have come from a ways away. Pressure again from Inter Miami nearly wreaks havoc on New England's back line. I mentioned back in the first half the players that were lost by Inter Miami because of the first team's needs and because of the U20 World Cup. It'd be difficult for any team to lose that many players, 6 of them, and that caliber of player, and still keep the results going. He managed to hold up defensively. If this is indeed a third straight 1-0 loss, only 3 goals allowed in 3 games. As Perkovic cuts in field and swings it right to the near post. It was deflected. The goal scoring has just turned off like a faucet for Inter Miami in the build-up before these 3 straight 1-0 scorelines. If this one turns out to be that way, it was 2-2 against Philly, 3-2 win against Atlanta, 3-2 loss against Columbus, 4-3 win against Huntsville. They had in that 4-game stretch 11 goals. Nearing a third straight game without a goal now. Can this corner change that? No, right into the hands of Jacob Jackson. Bolma, he's in alone. Joshua Bolma around the keeper, taken down. And a goal kick. That is a stunning no call. Perhaps Bolma went down on his own, and there was no contact from the keeper, CJ Dos Santos, but if that's the case, you'd expect a yellow card for simulation. Without one, it implies there was contact. And if you're conceding there that there was contact, that should have been a no doubt about it penalty and red card. We'll see if we can get a second look of our own at some point. And for now, play continues. Abadia Herrera, end line, looking for D'Agostini. It's been dangerous in this first half, D'Agostini. Pardon me, the second half since coming on. Let's see. It looked like he grabbed that left foot. Protests immediately from New England. Very fine margin there. Could have been a penalty and a second sending off for Inter Miami. Just one of those weird ones as a referee where if it's not one thing, it has to be the other. And it usually can't be nothing. Either there was contact and it's a red and a penalty, or there was no contact and it's a yellow for diving. D'Agostini into Meek, tries to flick it on, back to goal with his left foot. Despite being down a man, Inter Miami has not been shy of attacks going forward. Kept some of the pressure up. Owashi, and blocked by Sunderland. And blocked again here as Akinirich tries to clear. Turns, sideline, out of play. And he'll pick up a yellow for delay of the restart here. All of a sudden, Inter Miami is frustrating New England. They're down a man, they're down a goal. Down but not out.
Your attention, please. The referee has issued a yellow card to New England number 48.
This is the last change now for New England. In comes Santiago Suarez. Out goes Jacob Akinirich.
Your attention, please. Substitution for the Revolution in the 69th minute. Entering the match, number 43, Thiago Suarez. Exiting the match, number 48, Jacob Akinirich.
Ninth appearance of the season for Suarez, his first off the bench. All 8 of the others have been starts. Looped over the top, chested down by Weverton. Here's Marcos Diaz. 20 minutes to play here at Gillette Stadium. Elsewhere, Columbus has taken a 2-0 lead on the road against Philadelphia. So New England, if this result holds and that Columbus result holds, would remain in third place today. NYCFC is up 1-0 at home on Cincinnati. Those were 2 of the matches that kicked off at the 7 Eastern window. As far as the 6 Eastern window, it's now 2-2 in St. Louis between St. Louis and North Texas. It's a 3-1 lead on the road for Colorado over Minnesota. 2-0 at home for Houston over Austin. 1-0 on the road for Crown Legacy over Chicago. And 2-0 at home for Atlanta over Toronto. All of those matches from the 6 p.m. window at just about the same juncture as this one, minute 70, minute 71. Sesak held the run onside. And D'Agostini, was there a heartbeat too slow? Skimmed along to Fry. Malcolm Fry to the end line. With the right hand, Dos Santos got it. Don't know that anybody would have been there to tap it in for New England. The defensive help back from Inter Miami. That last touch right there, too heavy from Fry, the best he could do. Let's try and square it back, but there were 4 pink jerseys that would have gotten there before any blue jersey. Any dark blue jersey, I should say. The light blue jersey of CJ Dos Santos prevented anything else from happening. Weverton back for Owashi, and Weverton finds it again. Trying to fight his way through. Caputo playing from the ground. And won by Marcos Diaz. Here's Joshua Bolma. Owashi. Fry. Italo. Bolma. And Rosansky, the metronome in this midfield. Jake Rosansky out wide for Fry. Good spell of possession here for New England. Owashi. Again, it's Rosansky. Had the assist on the lone goal of the match back in the 8th minute by Pierre Kaye, who's on it now. Diaz cuts infield, feeds it through for Fry, and he lost it off the dribble. Lengthy spell of possession there for New England. Unfortunate for them that it doesn't bear any opportunity goalward. Would have been one you put on a teaching tape for the rest of the season. The way they swung it through the midfield and around the back. Nearly everybody got a touch to it, save for the goalkeeper. Abadiareda up to Lucas Meek. Quarter of an hour remains. Down a goal, down a man, but with a corner on the way, Inter Miami. Can you salvage a goal to salvage at least 1 point and maybe pick up the bonus in a shootout? It's not something this team has done this year. Secure that bonus point in a shootout. They've only been to one shootout. It's mostly been all or nothing. Perkovic to the back post. Owashi looking through for Italo. He wasn't quite ready for it. A corner conceded carelessly by Souza. If you're New England right now, you're up a goal, you're up a man. It almost feels like the only way you will let Inter Miami back in this game is if you hand it to them. Since going up a man, the only chances New England has conceded to Inter Miami were all bred from their own mistakes at the back, giveaways, succumbing to that Inter Miami pressure. And now a freely gifted corner here. Perkovic near post, handed away by Souza. Malcolm Fry giving chase. Row to the ground, but cleanly by Abadiareda. Sesak. Rosansky taken down by Meek. Some frustration from Meek after he lost it. Jeremy Raffanello just pulled one back for Philadelphia at home against Columbus, still in the first half there. Still very early in the year to be looking at the standings, but by the time all these teams playing today take the field next, the calendar will have turned to June. We started the season in March. Before you know it, the months start flying by. And in speaking to coaches throughout last year and throughout the last couple of years across different leagues, usually when the calendar turns to a new month, that's just a checkpoint. You're maybe not too concerned with the table week in, week out, but when you realize, oh, hey, it's June now, let's take a gander at it. You still do check in. You have to be aware of it. And for New England, if Columbus doesn't earn that result on the road against Philadelphia, which, by the way, is now 2-2, as I'm speaking, 2 goals in rapid succession for Philadelphia, it would mean that New England could end the month of June in 2nd place. So if Clint PA goes ahead in a couple days' time after enjoying perhaps the Memorial Day festivities with the family tomorrow, they might be in 2nd. Here's Weverton, saved by Dos Santos. Looking to ice it there, Weverton with his first goal of the year, denied by Dos Santos. And not much of a difference mentally between being 2nd or 3rd when you look at that table, but it has to mean something to know that you are just off the pace of the first place team. You've got a lot of teams looking up at you. And that's with New England not even playing their best ball in their minds yet, at least not defensively. On the brink, however, perhaps of a 2nd straight clean sheet. After not having one up until their midweek game at home against Columbus. Suarez. Great move by Marcos Diaz. Looking ahead for Bolma. Diaz recovers. Italo has Fry to his left. Italo goes for goal himself, skimming along the turf. And it's out for a goal kick. Don't know that his decision to strike from there was the best one. Every now and then you catch one clean. Goes down as a goal of the week, goal of the month candidate. That wasn't that one time. Sessa quickly takes a free kick. Inter Miami could still make 2 more subs. New England is out of stock. Sunderland. Abadi Herrera. Whirling through, looking for the ball. It falls for Meek. Lucas Meek to the penalty spot for Perkovic. Into the hands of Jackson. A quick toss out, but giving it away to Sesak. Meek, headed away. Perkovic through for D'Agostini. Pierre Kaye did well to keep the inside positioning. He's been a regular for 3 years now, Pierre Kaye, for Revs 2. And he has the potential game-winning goal on his ledger as of right now, back in the 8th minute. Bolma with speed past Abadire to cuts it back on a dime. Bolma goes for goal. Now Perkovic begins an attack for Inter Miami. Intercepted by Suarez. Pace of the match has slowed considerably begs the question, when will Federico Higuain with ball in hand right now as the yellow is brandished to Lawson Sunderland? When will Higuain go to the bench for those last two subs? New England has already burned through them all. They can't add any more fresh legs, and they burned through 4 of them early back in the 55th minute. So perhaps even those legs starting to feel a bit heavier. So 2 more for Inter Miami. Down a man, yes, down a goal. Maybe that's the spark you need. An extra pair or 2 of fresh legs while the game has slowed considerably. Owashi. D'Agostini, he's made a difference since coming on. Continues with it. Meek cuts in, taken down, free kick from a great spot for Inter Miami. Looking for an equalizer. Thanks to the efforts of D'Agostini. And Meek up that left side. Well, Lucas Meek won the free kick. He'll take the free kick. And in the 85th minute, might need to make this one count to salvage something from this one for Inter Miami. Lucas Meek misses target. From just outside the box there. Not easy to get it up and down. Rosansky taken down. Souza. Way back for Jackson. He's only had to make 2 saves today, only 2 shots on target of their 16 Inter Miami. That is not a ratio he'll be proud of at the end of the night. 16 shots, 2 on target, granted 2 hit the post. Ball him up, unable to get a touch to it. On the other side, New England 12 shots, 5 on target, 2 more that hit the post. Through all that, just 1 goal to show for it for now. That's 28 total shots, 7 on target, and 4 total shots that hit the post. And here we are, 1-0 despite all those opportunities. Not along by Suarez. Even though they've been down the 10 men, it hasn't quite looked like it for Inter Miami. They've done a good job of still seeing a good bit of the possession. Perhaps part of that, New England just sitting back in a defensive shell, looking to shield this victory over the finish line. But for being down a man since the 57th minute, it's been a half hour now. Inter Miami in the second half, out shooting New England 8-7. Possessions just about even. Here's Sesak in some space toward D'Agostini. Jackson fumbled it. Grabs it on the bounce. Dangerous ball in from Sesak. And that ball bounced almost anywhere else. There were pink jerseys ready to pounce. But it hopped right back into the arms of Jackson. Told as of now, there are 3 minutes of stoppage time in store for us. So about 4 minutes for Inter Miami, down a man to find this equalizing goal. That won't help. Jacob Jackson asked to hurry along by John Matto, our center official. Perkovic taken down. And Jackson did pick up a yellow card there for time wasting. 3 minutes of stoppage time now confirmed. 180 seconds for Inter Miami to try and salvage something out of this one. Otherwise, it's a third consecutive 1-0 defeat. And New England would have 4 consecutive regulation victories. 12 points out of a possible 12 would have them back up in second place, perhaps. Here's Marcos Diaz to put it away. Well defended by Nick Sesak. Here, Kaye defending D'Agostini physically. Owashi, Malcolm Fry. Still Malcolm Fry. Weverton. Settled down by Kaye. Italo. Looking for Weverton. Was gearing up for the diving header. It's out instead for a corner. And with just 90 seconds to play, they could take all the time they want here. New England, within reason, and get this closer to that final whistle. Don't imagine this will be taken directly either. Might be 2 men down there now to just keep this one in the corner for as long as they can. Looks like Weverton will be the one tasked with shielding this ball for a few seconds. And does well to win a throw out of it with 1 minute to play. One last chance perhaps for Inter Miami. Have to hurry and wave everybody forward. CJ Dos Santos with it at midfield. One last prayer forward Down a man, down a goal. Time wearing thin. Sunderland nodded it along. And there's the final whistle. New England, 4 straight regulation victories. They are now in the live table in second place in the Eastern Conference. After no clean sheets through the majority of the season, and now have 2 clean sheet victories in a row. And for Inter Miami, the sting of a 3rd consecutive 1-0 defeat as these teams cap off a double match week here on match day 10. Man of the match has to be the man who has the lone goal and has the ball in hand right now, Pierre Kaye. Came all the way back in the 8th minute of the match. Great service from Jake Rosansky and a better header from Pierre Kaye for his 2nd of the season, your Adidas man of the match. That does it for us tonight from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. For the entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Joe Malfa. Once again, your final score, New England 1, Inter Miami 0. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Good night, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.